Hello and welcome to News Up Now. I'm Gleidson Martins, and my guest today is this incredible lady, a principal dancer at the San Francisco Ballet. She started dancing at age of 3, and then in 2017, she became the principal at SF Ballet. Please welcome Sasha De Sola. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So I love what you do. You have no idea how much joy to have you here because I admire ballet and I think it's fascinating. It's beautiful what you can do with your body. So at age of 3, let's start there.
Yeah.
So you didn't have a clue what ballet is, right?
No idea.
But you start dancing at 3.
Yes, I think I was always performing at home, actually. So my mom noticed that right away. I was always performing, but I was very shy at the same time. So in interpersonal relationships, I was very shy. But when I was performing, I was very free. So my mom put me into dance class, and the rest is history.
But your parents were musicians.
Yes, yes. So my dad actually started 2 bands in Venezuela. They're both from Venezuela. So he's a progressive rock band, so he's a drummer. And my mom played the piano. I grew up with so much music in the house, always music. So that was, I think, just part of my DNA from when I was born.
The audience is watching a video of you, and I believe you are dancing corset.
I was 11 years old. I started training professionally, I would say, for ballet at 10 years old. That's more serious training. So at 10 years old, I started training. By 11, I was dancing the corsaire pas de deux. I was fearless. You'll see in the video. It's just, I just went for it. And I loved it back then. I still love it now, obviously. And it was one of my first experiences with partnering as well. So working with a partner and starting to understand the classical repertoire of ballet as well.
You have danced all the classical ballets, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
Have you danced, how do you say, Manon or Manon?
Manon.
Manon. So have you danced that before?
No, this is going to be my first time dancing it. It's been a dream role, and I'm so excited.
Oh my gosh. And it's based on a French novel.
Correct.
Right? And there's opera, Puccini, and it's incredible.
Yeah.
And you are trying the costumes.
Yes.
So, and there was one point you say, oh, it's really heavy.
Yeah.
So you have to wear that.
Yeah, so those costumes are the original costumes from the Royal Ballet's production. And so there's so much, I mean, just putting them on, you feel the history. I feel that our art form, because it's a live art form, it's very ephemeral, like it will disappear. If you were not at that performance that night, you missed it. So there's nothing really tangible about it. But things like costuming really help give it something tangible that you can kind of like feel the weight of the history within, our art form. So that's really fun. So going back to the coat is with real fur. I mean, this was made quite a while ago, and so it's quite heavy, and I don't dance too much in it because that would make it kind of impossible, but I do kind of walk around the stage and a little bit of dancing with it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And this year marks the 32 years since the death of Kenneth McMillan, right?
Yes.
So, and you mentioned you met Lauren.
Yes.
Who used the costume.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
When you were at 16?
Yes. I met her just before I joined San Francisco Ballet, actually.
And, from what you said on that video, it made me wonder, like, younger dancers now meeting you, the impact you can cause in somebody's life. Do you have that sense of it? Powerful message?
I have an awareness of it only because I remember myself being young. I remember how I would look up to other dancers, how they would impact me, how I would observe them and just want to emulate things that I liked about them. So I am aware of that. but I try not to worry too much about it because at the end of the day, you know, I can only be myself, but I hope that I can be an inspiration for next generations for sure.
You are helping out an organization who help artists too.
So I'm a board member for Dance in Power, who was actually started by a Brazilian. Basically, Dance in Power goes to hospitals in the Bay and around the country and uses the power of dance and music to uplift children who are hospitalized either temporarily or permanently. And so they go and they teach class, they engage the patients in another way that brings joy. I think dance is this incredible way to embody joy. And that's what I love about Dance in Power. So I'm very, very happy to be.
And it's free of charge.
Free of charge.
Can we talk a little bit of challenges? Because it's not easy. I mean, it's almost impossible to do what you and your colleagues do on a stage. It's literally, it's almost impossible to jump, to turn, be on point. So what are your challenges?
Oh, so many, are you kidding? So many. I mean, it just depends on the era, right? But for me currently, I would say my biggest challenge is I get in my own way sometimes. I think for so long as a young dancer, you're focused on the technical aspect, the physical aspect. I mean, if you think about it, I've been training every single day of my life for my entire life. And even still, it's challenging physically. But it's the most challenging now is more the psychological aspect and having that mental toughness, being able to persevere when you perform in ways that are sometimes your best, sometimes not your best, and knowing that we're human at the end of the day. I always give my all, I always give my best, but sometimes it's not what I hope for, and that's always the most challenging for me at this point.
Wow. But you give yourself credit as well.
Yes, that's part of the work. That's part of the work. Yeah.
So I know from friends I have in ballet at the same company you are at the SF Ballet, but they said they train like intensive hours daily.
Yes.
Before the season starts.
Yes.
It's crucial. It's crazy because one time when I first moved to this country, I couldn't speak English, which is still a work in progress. But in 2007, I was working for a magazine in LA, and I met Daniel Davison.
Yeah.
And I interviewed him and Ludmila and another dancer from Berkeley. And I remember walking through the school, there are dancers with their feet in bucket of ice.
Yes.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. I think there was a study that came out somewhat recently that ranked dancers as the most physically demanding job that there is, beyond football, beyond people who have manual labor. It's the most physically demanding job, and apparently about 80% of dancers experience at least one injury per year.
And surgeries and
all sorts
it's
of
part
things.
of it.
Pretty in shape.
Yeah. So, and you wrote a book. So I'm holding this book here. Beautiful cover.
Thank you.
Dedicated to children.
Yes, yeah. So it's a children's book. It's actually written by an author named C.V. Monterrubio. It's bilingual in English and in Spanish, and we worked together to create the story and also the visuals and.
I said you wrote the book, but the book is based in your life.
Based on my life, that's right.
Okay,
yes.
okay.
Yeah.
So, and you bring these memories from childhood, or?
Yes, so that's from my childhood. We talked through a whole possibilities of different experiences of my life, and of course, because it's for children, we try to keep it a little bit simple. But the majority of that is just experiences from my childhood. And so on one side, it's my story. And if you flip it to the other side, it's a story of a boy who loves to dance as well and overcomes obstacles. And in the middle, they meet, they get to dance together.
So, and what is the future for you?
That's a great question. I would love to know that.
Who knows?
No.
But is that something you wanted to do in your life? Like maybe, I don't know, acting or, you know.
I mean, I do love acting. I love storytelling. It's the thing I love the most about dancing now is storytelling and connection with the people on stage with me. But in the longer term, even beyond that, I think I have so many interests in life that, and I've had to focus for so long on ballet that I'm really excited to just continue to explore. Actually, in May, I'm going to Stockholm in Sweden, and I'm going to shadow the artistic director there, Nicolas Lariche, who was a former étoile from Paris Opera.
That's big.
So I get to learn a lot about how the company works in Europe, in a European setting. And then, of course, get to understand his position and all of the heads of department in the company. So I'm kind of in a learning, absorbing state right now, and we'll see what the future holds.
Wow. It's a different step, but in the same industry.
Yeah.
It's fascinating because then you get to learn all the aspects of everything.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Let's go back and talk about Manu again. Yes. So it opens this Friday.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So are you dancing on opening night?
I dance on Saturday night.
Saturday.
The 25th at 8 p.m. Yeah.
Oh my. So where people can buy the book? Is it for sale?
It is for sale online, Book Bank USA. So you can find that online and at some select bookstores in San Francisco as well. After
Manu, I mean, this season basically is just starting, goes through May, right? Any other exciting ballets you're looking forward to dance?
Yes, I'm a huge bunhead, basically. A bunhead is basically someone who loves ballet. So I love anything that I'm dancing. I'm really looking forward to, as I mentioned, I love storytelling. So all of the ballets that I get to tell a story are the ones that I most look forward to.
Well, let me change the question then. What's your favorite?
Of this season?
Of the whole life,
time?
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's impossible.
Really?
Yeah, that's an impossible question for me.
So do you like more classical ballet or modern?
My tastes have changed throughout my career, which I think is to be expected.
Yeah.
But when I was young, I really wanted to dance the classical ballets that I saw as a young dancer that inspired me. And I've been so fortunate to be able to dance them. So now I think I want to dance things that challenge me and that push me and help me understand life in a different way. So Manon is one of those roles for me. It definitely has pushed me. But we also have Raimonda coming up, which is classical dancing, but it still has a lot of storytelling. And Frankenstein, which is also just visually incredibly stunning. And I would say quite timely for now, just because it's it kind of touches on technology and how that affects humanity.
Interesting.
And I think we're kind of at the crux of that as well.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciated talking to you. It's very nice meeting you in person. I always watch you on stage, and I think like you're so powerful in what you do with your body, all the movements, all the techniques you have. And I see people in the audience applauding you, you know, standing ovation. It's just beautiful what you do. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for the conversation.
Thank you.